What's going on, traders? Hope everybody had a great Thursday. It is August 10th, and we'll be doing an analysis of the S&P 500, the Spider ETF. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and in no way should be viewed as financial advice. We're going to start off with the macro, of course, and taking a look at the daily chart. With CPI behind us, print came in pretty much in line with expectations. Markets did rally in the morning before failing lower towards the middle of the morning into the end of the day. And you can see again, the bulls tried to make an attempt to recapture the daily 9 and 20. Unable to do so, as you can see, tried to get over, looked above and failed, back down, and now we're hanging out again, still just right in this major demand zone. And it's going to be very interesting how the week closes. We do have some data tomorrow, PPI, I believe, coming out. So we'll see how the markets react, if at all, to that print. But as things stand, we are still looking a little bit bearish, being under the 9 and 20 in the short term, but still plenty of levels where we could drop down to, and still technically bigger picture, we are still bullish. So, for me, short term bearish here still, but bigger picture, definitely bullish. Markets, pretty much ended where they began, more or less. They were only up 0.04%. We ended green, but 16 cents, but green nonetheless. Final print came in at 445.91, and this 445 has been really pivotal. The bulls just keep fighting in that area to try to push the price back up. So far have been successful, so we'll watch to see if they finally give it up, and that will probably initiate a lot more selling, and certainly under that 444, which we've been looking at. We'll look for that gap fill on the daily down to the high 442s, maybe just 443. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's take a look at the bigger picture fibs really quickly. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. We're still just hanging out here, right at the 23.6, right? And really nothing too much has changed. We've just traded in this range for the last few sessions. Definitely tricky price action. VIX is now, certainly elevated again, so we are seeing, even though we haven't technically gone anywhere, we've seen a lot more volatility in the market. Even speaking today, we traded from 451.74 all the way down to 444.70. So definitely a bit more volatility and range in the market, even though technically right now we've really just been trading right in this general range sideways, more or less. It certainly is tradable, though. However, a lot of intraday reversals, and you can get caught offsides very quickly with the velocity in the market right now. So it's, I kind of got used to that VIX being down at 13, and now I'm having to kind of adjust my trading a bit as dealing with this higher volatility. So that's been something that I've been working on, getting used to that once again. But that's, the major thing is always looking at the things that are changing in the market and then adapting accordingly. All right, so so nothing else more I really wanted to go over on the fibs here. Nothing's really changed. Let's just take a look at our bigger picture trends really quickly, and then we'll move on to some areas that we may want to engage the market tomorrow. It is Friday, end of the week, so make sure you are careful and hold on to any profits you have made this week, um, and trade safely. No reason to give it back on a Friday. All right, so just as far as the daily view here, you can really see right where we stopped today, more or less, right at our secondary bull pivot, right? We had traded up, almost got there, clipped right above this trend line and back down. So you can see we're kind of stuck, really in between our the secondary bull pivot up basically by 452, we'll call it, and this trend line right here, which is just pretty much hanging out right around in that 445 zone. So we didn't even get the full look above. We looked above this trend line and failed, but certainly broke down at this 447.50 area as well. So we'll go over that here in a second. So let's get into what I'm looking at for tomorrow, and really, the levels have not changed too much. So we'll just run through this really quickly. The main thing that I want to watch out for now, this again, 446.23 has been a key area for me, or that we need to hold for any of that bull case. And even though it's a tighter little balance zone here, as mentioned before, over that gives us those chances to come up to that 447 and 447.50. And you can see, today what happened. We rallied up, and where did we come? Right into the top of this balance, looked above and failed, and then certainly game was on when we broke below 450 half gap, right? So this short idea here that we did talk about did work in this case and came down. And certainly if you wanted a bit more confirmation, breaking below that 450 certainly gave you a nice short opportunity. And then later in the day, you can see, we came back down into this key area here around this 445 that we were talking about earlier. Keeps on getting defended, right? Look how many times it's been defended, and that also can mean that it is starting to get weaker. So we have to watch, when it does finally break for that selling momentum really to start to come in. But when we did have a nice bounce today, you can see we came right into the top of this balance zone, right at that 447.50, and that's pretty much where we rejected for the short trade into the close, which I took advantage of futures. Not too much options today for me, but nice reactions at some key levels for us, so that is nice to see. But again, for the longs, really 447, that 446.35, we'll be watching that to see if we're over and under. And then certainly if we get back over this 447.50 area, we'll be looking to trade back up into that 448.50, 448.90. 449 area. The 447.50 zone, I think is definitely worth mentioning, because if we flip over to our day trading fibs here, and that's going to be a recapture of our 23.6. So if you're not interested in the 446.25 area, certainly better confirmation for longs if we do start to confirm over that 447, again, 50, 60 area, confirm over that, okay, then we've got a chance to rally back up, potentially up into those higher prices. So we'll be watching out for that. Now we talked about the different ways that you can trade these balance zones. Yes, obviously here, great examples of taking the short in the top of the balance zone, and the breakout trade is, right, if we break over and confirm, maybe come back and retest and you take the long, that is another way you can play it. So we'll watch, because it's going to be, this buying this lower part of this um, balance zone here has been working, right? But it's been tested, what, 3, 4 times now. So when this does go, when they drop this bid, I would suspect that you're going to see a decent amount of selling come in, and then we may finally get our targets coming down to that 444, 443, 50, 60 area, and then if 443 gives up, we'll be looking down towards 442.40, and then 442, basically 441, 75, and 441.40, right down here, 40.35. So, yeah, same levels. Not too much else to go over as far as that is concerned. I think that's about it for me. So, again, trade safe tomorrow, trade smart. It is Friday. Protect those profits that you've made from the week. And if you are struggling, just take a look at what has changed. Again, for me, the big change has been the increase in the volatility. So I've been having to adjust to that this week, and I haven't been trading my best personally. So I'll be looking for a nice week next week, and we'll see. Maybe I'll just take 1 or 2 trades tomorrow, and then try to call it early and really start to refresh the mental capital. So don't forget how important that is as well. All right, guys. Well, I hope you found this helpful. Don't forget, if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, it would mean a ton to me if you could do that. And yeah, have a great Friday, and we will see you on the other side. Take care.